Welcome back, hunters. Patch 1.021 is here, and the charge plate has seen some pretty important tweaks again. Today we are breaking down how version 1.021 compares to the previous patches, and what it means for the Savage X playstyles. Let's start with what Capcom officially listed. Here's the charge plate section from the last patch notes. The raw damage for X, Elemental Discharge 1 and 2 has been increased. The raw damage for multi-hit attacks while in Power X mode has been increased. The Just X, Elemental Discharge 1 and 2, so that when enhanced Phial is used during Power X mode, the explosion damage probably reflects the enhanced Phial effects. At first glance, these might seem like small adjustments. The actual impact on DPS cycles and motion values is bigger than you might think. We have got tweaks to the power ticks, changes that bring elemental discharge attacks closer to their original strength, and some indirect buffs through the new Talisman system. Let's look at the bigger picture. Back in Title Update 1, power ticks are insanely strong. Let's look at the bigger picture. Back in Title Update 1, power ticks were insanely strong. We are talking motion values 14 per power tick, making power ticks the playstyle. Then came Title Update 2, where power ticks got heavily nerfed and Savage X user felt that. Fast forward to the patch 1.021, ticks have improved slightly, moving from motion value 10 to 12. However, and this is important part, elemental discharge attacks 1 and 2 are now back to their original power from Title Update 1. That means Savage X isn't bad anymore. In fact, with elemental discharge performance restored, the X playstyle feels much more stronger again. And even if the ticks aren't the star of the show. Here's the raw data. In this spreadsheet you can see the motion values for each patch. In Title Update 1, ticks set at motion value 14 and the elemental discharge attacks were very strong. In Title Update 2, ticks were nerfed to 10, elemental discharge to 51, and elemental discharge 2 burst X hit to 25. Now in 1.021, ticks raise slightly to motion value 12, and elemental discharge 1 and 2 attacks are now back to the Title Update 1 strength. So if you're wondering whether Savage X is viable again, the answer is yes, because elemental discharge is doing serious work. The only real difference from Title Update 1 is that the ticks are still weaker than they used to be. But motion values only tell one part of the story. Let's look at the practical DPS using a full combo cycle. Here's a simulation comparing all three versions with the same build. Notice the pattern. Version 1.010 still comes out slightly on top thanks to insane tick damage. 1.020 lags behind because both ticks and elemental discharge were nerfed. And now 1.021 closes the gap. It's not quite Title Update 1 DPS overall, but it's much closer, especially for the elemental discharge focused cycle. Let's check out the Radar slay times. The new patch shaves off a noticeable amount compared to 1.20, thanks to elemental discharge restoring its original performance. Savage X feels good again. So what does this mean for your hunts? The power ticks are still weaker than Title Update 1, no surprise there, but elemental discharge attacks are back to Title Update 1 levels, making X playstyles much more rewarding. Combine this with the new Talisman system, which can roll weapon skills, and we're entering a really interesting meta. With optimized armor sets and a proper file management, this patch might be stronger than Title Update 1. That's the full breakdown of the chart play changes in 1.21. How do you feel about these adjustments? Are you going to bring back Savage X, or are you sticking with AED or SAD playstyle? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more deep dive analysis like this, hit like and subscribe.